Look, I think we're at a really, really important point, and you can see the science is going to take us to the point where I don't think coal has a future unless CCS works at the right price, which I'm a sceptical person about, but it may. But the point is we are going to see massive change. People are going to respond to the science, and we are going to see a significant increase in response. And one of the concerns I have is that sort of the demonisation, if you like, of technologies. And I think coal is going to end up, frankly, as a sort of tobacco or asbestos of the future with the legal cases you talked about. I think that's a bad thing in terms of the way we see particular technologies. We have to focus on the environmental outcomes. And I think if we focus on the environmental outcomes, then coal will be sorted out in the process and we'll end up with a better energy mix. But it is possible to achieve it, but I know we're going to leave it too late. And then we're going to panic. And then we're going to do it quite hard and quite fast. And that does have unfortunate economic consequences and employment consequences that we must plan for ahead of time.
Well, maybe, Richard, it rests with you.
I think demonising the sector is wrong. We should be incentivising the sector to invest in the new technologies, which will create that reliable generation from cleaner forms of generation.
But you're getting all this relief from the CPRS, sort of almost taking the load off you to have to seriously investigate new forms.
Well, as currently proposed, the government's basically giving us 5 years to change the generation base for our electricity supply. And it takes 4 years to build a single power station. So 5 years is really a very short period of time to change from having 80% of our generation coming from coal to having it coming from other reliable sources of fuel. We need a longer period of time, but I think the incentives can be put there to have companies such as ourselves and others investing in cleaner forms of generation.
But we're not letting solar systems go under.
The final point I would say is that we are going to see prices going up. The cost of electricity is going to go up as a result of a carbon price coming in and as a result of a move away from cheaper coal to more expensive forms of fuel and more expensive technologies. And so people need to get more efficient in the way they use electricity.
Bill Mitchell, final point to you.
Yeah, look, I think that the current policy settings aren't adequate are not to motivate the change that the science is telling us we need. I think that a rules-based approach is a better approach for this particular thing. I think a market-based paradigm is the wrong sort of paradigm when you've got a biological system involved. You have to be extremely risk-averse. Things do die, river systems die, and climates die. And I think we need a rules-based approach. I think, but the important point that's missing in all of the discussion is we also need a sort of development strategy to back up that rule-based approach, a skill development, incentives for new industries. I wouldn't give any incentives to the coal industry. I'd give them to the renewables industry. And I would put all of the skill development so that we need what I call a just transition. There are going to be workers in Tony's union that are disadvantaged, and they need to have the security. They're not the enemy. They need to have the security that their jobs are going to be different, but they're still going to have income security. And I think we're lacking in all of that. I mean, we don't have proper skill development frameworks, and we don't even care for our unemployed now. And I think we need to a major rethink based upon a rules-based approach with a proper strategy for 25 years, 20 years, whatever it is, to really get out of this mess.
All right, well, look, thank you all very much indeed for those terrific remarks. And I do hope that we have sponsored a bigger debate and that we'll all go away from here with that sense of getting involved more maybe than some of us have already. So would you please thank you all very much indeed for being here for this special Saturday Extra Forum here up at Fort Scratchley in Newcastle. Will you thank Paul Gilding, Tony Maher, Bill Mitchell, Richard McIndoe and Greg Combet.